pimpin' for Paul. Well, now that the troops have lined up behind their candidates, how will the caucus play out? Minister Derek Grayson from the Electric Church of God joined me earlier from Atlanta, Georgia, to weigh in.
Well, it was surprising. In about 3 days, I went from 6,000 subscribers to over 8,600. So I guess it must have made some sort of an impact on folk.
And to tell us about your videos and the message that you are trying to get out.
As it stands, the message I'm trying to get out now is America needs to wake up to what is taking place in this country. I've been a long time Republican, conservative, and voting in that bloc. When Obama ran, I was sick of what the Republicans were doing, so I decided I would give somebody who was saying something slightly different a chance, and I voted for Obama. Now, I have repented of that decision. So now I hold no allegiance to either party. To me, they are just one big circus, just trading clowns, all doing the same thing. And the only individual who stands out from the crowd, who has been consistent in doing what he has said he was going to do since he has been in Washington, and that's Ron Paul. That I can count on. Now, I don't agree with everything that he says. Hey, if we all agreed with what everyone said, this would be one dull world. But Ron Paul, you can count on him to stick with what is constitutionally sound. You can count on him to stick with conservative principles, and you can count on him to not being a go-along, get-along politician, and that's all we have been getting for the last 20 years that I've been voting.
Now, Ron Paul is doing much better than the mainstream ever would have imagined, and now he's finally being taken seriously. Do you think that he could actually win this, that he'll be able to pull this off?
Absolutely. I believe he is going to win Iowa. And listen, if Huckabee could predict that Ron Paul would win Iowa, I'm all for it, and I believe he will take Iowa. And if he can win Iowa, he can win other caucuses as well.
If Ron Paul does pull this off and he does win the caucus, the Iowa caucus, how will that set the tone for the rest of the election?
It will say to America, those who support Ron Paul, that he is in fact a contender, that he does in fact have something to say, because what the media will try and do by and large, and I've preached this time and time again, they would like to destroy the hope, because when they were talking about Ron Paul having an opportunity to win Iowa, then they dismissed it as, well, that really won't count. What will really count is what takes place in New Hampshire. So this won't matter to Newt Gingrich. This won't matter, but it does matter. It sends a message that America is sick and tired of go-along, get-along politicians. And they are the ones who need to wake up, because next in line, we'll start sending people to Washington who will work with Ron Paul to get rid of all of the gridlock that goes on in Washington between Republicans and Democrats.
Now, Paul's supporters, among the reasons why they love him is this anti-war message that he sends again and again, but his opponents are also attacking him for his non-interventionist views. Some say that his lax views on Iran, for example, are dangerous. How do you think that accusation is resonating with voters?
For voters who understand Ron Paul, we actually get it. For those who don't understand Ron Paul and who allow the media and politicians to spoon feed them fear, then they go along with what the politicians say about Ron Paul. But for those of us who get it, Ron Paul is saying, listen, war after war after war, going back to Desert Storm, nothing has changed. We need to change our strategy. We need to change our policy, because what you have been doing is not working. And if we allow people like Obama or any of the other GOP members, remember I said they're the same clowns playing in the same circus, we're headed for World War III, and fast.
And just want to ask you, caucuses are just moments away now. What is your prediction for tonight?
I believe that Ron Paul will win Iowa.
Minister, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.